Is there any evidence at all that apple cider vinegar helps with weight loss? Yes, there is. First and foremost, it's really important to remember that nothing is ever going to replace a proper diet and exercise regimen to help you achieve your fitness and weight loss goals. However, adding ACV to your protocol could give you that extra boost in the right direction. Adding ACV can help you to burn fat, reduce fat storage, suppress your appetite, lower blood sugar levels, and lower your insulin levels. And remember, insulin is also known as the fat storage hormone, so it's a really good idea to help lower insulin in whichever way possible, in addition to, of course, a very low carbohydrate diet. And the way that ACV helps lower your blood glucose levels or your blood sugar levels and your blood insulin levels is by delaying gastric emptying. What that means is that food simply takes longer in your stomach to be digested and released into your bloodstream. And so by slowing down the digestive process, that ends up slowing down the effect that sugars are going to have on your blood. It also activates AMPK. AMPK is simply a cellular energy sensor, meaning that when it gets activated, it's as if it's telling your body that you don't have a lot of stored energy and you should start burning fat. And so when you activate AMPK, you can start burning fat more efficiently. And that's exactly what apple cider vinegar does. And if you want to learn more about how to get into ketosis faster, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell, because the very next video that I'm gonna film is going to talk about exactly that. Now, what are the two main components in ACV that are responsible for its powerful effects? Those are acetic acid and the mother, which is this murky substance that you can find in organic, raw, and unfiltered bottles of ACV. By the way, acetic acid is also found in balsamic vinegar, and the other component, which is the mother, can also supply your body with good probiotics. Those are the good bacteria that live in our gut, and so it can help provide our bodies and our guts with more of the good stuff. What is the dosage of ACV that you should be looking at? Usually it's 1 to 2 tablespoons diluted in 16 ounces of water. That's because it's gentler on your digestive system, because ACV could be a strong acid, and at the same time, it tastes much better that way. You could also add lemon juice to support detoxification pathways, and that way you have the ACV and the lemon juice both doing good stuff in your body. I highly recommend that you use a straw when sipping on ACV so that you don't erode your tooth enamel. Now, what brand should you look for in terms of ACV? The best one that I can find on the market is Bragg's apple cider vinegar. But if you can't find Bragg's, the brand, then look for any brand that is raw, organic, unfiltered, and with the mother, because the mother is where all the probiotics are gonna be. I will link in the description box below to a Bragg's apple cider vinegar. But again, if you don't have access to Amazon or you can't find it in your grocery store around you, then just look for any brand that is raw, unfiltered, organic, and it says with the mother, because that would be also a good choice. Now you're gonna ask me, well, what about apple cider vinegar pills? Because a lot of people do not enjoy the process of sipping on ACV, even if it's diluted in water. The problem is that those ACV pills usually have acetic acid in them, and unfortunately we really don't have enough studies to give you any information as to whether they do the same thing that apple cider vinegar does in the human body. So any benefits that might come from taking ACV pills could be because of the acetic acid in them, and we have studies that show beneficial effects of acetic acid. What are some side effects of taking ACV? It could cause nausea in some people. It could also erode your tooth enamel if you're not using a straw. Also, injury to the esophagus has been reported. There's a case of a person that could not consume foods normally for up to 6 months after injuring their esophagus. And if you are also doing a ketogenic diet and or intermittent fasting plus taking ACV, you really want to pay attention to your potassium levels, because it's been shown that ACV can lead to a lower level of potassium, and that's already a problem on a ketogenic and intermittent fasting protocol. It already leads to lower than usual electrolyte levels, so you really want to pay attention to that, especially especially if you've just started this keto and or intermittent fasting, because it's really in the beginning stages of those dietary changes where you see the most problems with electrolyte levels. Finally, I have to shed light on a case of a 28-year-old woman who ended up with osteoporosis after spending 6 years consuming a whole cup of ACV. So bear that in mind if you're thinking of going above the dosage that I recommended earlier, which is more than 2 tablespoons diluted in water. Okay, how do you know if you're one of the people who shouldn't be taking apple cider vinegar? The first thing to look out for is if you get any pain in your stomach, because if you get pain or a burning sensation, that probably means that you have an ulcer and you need to stop taking ACV immediately and talk to your physician. If you have any kidney problems as well, pay attention, because ACV can be tough on the kidneys because it's an acid. Also, if you are taking diabetes medication, pay attention to that as well, because ACV can lower your blood glucose levels and your insulin levels. And if you have low levels of blood glucose now and you're still taking medication on top of that to lower your blood glucose even more, that could lead to a hypoglycemic attack. Also, if you're taking diuretic drugs, that can lead to even lower levels of potassium with ACV. Do not take ACV if you have gastritis, which means inflammation of the stomach lining. And do not take ACV if you have Zollinger-Ellison syndrome, which is a rare genetic disorder whereby you produce too much stomach acid or HCl. So my conclusion is, if you're doing everything right with your diet and exercise, but you still want that extra kick, this little boost, then it might be okay to take ACV in small dosages for a certain period of time. But if you are looking at ACV as a shortcut or a hack to avoid the hard work and the sacrifice that is necessary to achieve your health and fitness goals, then it's probably not going to be the best strategy. And if that sounded like you, then you may want to look at your mindset and maybe do some work there to overcome the limiting beliefs or the certain beliefs that are holding you back from putting in the work and being comfortable going out of your comfort zone, because remember, nothing worth having ever comes easy. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and make sure you hit that notification bell icon so you're alerted the next time I post a new video, which is going to be on how to get into ketosis faster. It's gonna come up in the next few days. Also, drop a comment below and say hi. I'd love to connect with you guys, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.